on the Daily Shuffle. Call the show at 866-285-4005. Now, back to Aaron Peters and Ronnie Brewer.
Well, you heard the man. It is the Power Hour Show coming at you every Wednesday from 2 to 3 right here on ESPN 99.5. And just as he said, you can call into the show. Listen close. Write it down. 866-285-4005. You can call into the Power Hour Show. Express your concerns, your questions. You can also text that number if you're afraid of getting caught on the phone at work. 866-285-4005. Text it as well. This is the Power Hour Show brought to you in part by Cameron Smith and Associates. Cameron Smith actually joining us in the studio today, Ronnie, and he asked, what are we going to be talking about today? And I said, well, first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about you, and thank you for sponsoring the program and your company, but also we're going to talk Arkansas basketball because you're a hardcore basketball fan, Cameron. You have courtside seats. You go to every single game, exhibition, regular season, and I know that you're excited about the upcoming 2019-20 campaign.
Yes, I am. You could say I'm emotionally involved.
Because you're sitting right there. The officials kind of stink sometimes. You're right there by their hind end, right there. You're so close to the action.
Yeah, and if you say one word to them, they'll throw your butt out.
Well, first, before we have fun talking sports, Cameron Smith and Associates, you guys have been around for 25 plus years. I first met you way back in Fort Smith years and years ago. What does your company specialize in, and why is it important for you to support local endeavors like this show?
Yeah. Well, I've been in executive search for actually 31 years, and I moved to Arkansas, and we started in Fort Smith, and I thought I would keep my California business, but it just didn't happen, so I was looking for other areas to recruit. We stumbled on an opening with Huffy Bicycle Company calling a Walmart in 1992. At that point, there were only 48 Walmart suppliers here, and I decided to slant my business towards that. And today there's 1,600 plus suppliers, and our firm is responsible for bringing more than 600 of those companies here, setting up their offices, and help facilitate the hiring of over 5,000 jobs in 25 years.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
You've seen the growth. You kind of came along at just the right time as a recruiting firm because they need quality talent. They've got positions, and it just grew from 48 to 1,600. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's been a great ride. My wife likes to say that she's singly responsible for the growth of Northwest Arkansas by bringing me here.
Absolutely. Special guest actually in the studio. Forget a phone call. He's in the studio. Cameron Smith of Cameron Smith and Associates. Here's the thing with the Power Hour Show. There's 4 segments, so we have room for 4 sponsors. Cameron stepped up. He's segment 1. He's also the title sponsor right now. We got 3 left. If you're wanting to be a part of the mix, just let me know. But Cameron, let's talk hoops. You've got those courtside seats. Do you like Eric Musselman so far as an average fan, as a casual fan, or are you still reminiscent about the Anderson era?
Well, I was very close with Mike Anderson, and that was a sad situation, but it needed to happen. And change is good. And from what I know about Musselman, I think he's the real deal. I've talked to a lot of people that knew him in Nevada, and everybody's given me the thumbs up on him. And just watching the team, watching his energy, the way he coaches, he's out there calling timeouts. He's actually got a chalkboard. And I don't know, just I'm excited about the team.
Well, you and I watched the first preseason game, and then I came back for the second one, saw you there as well. So you've been to both exhibition games. What are your thoughts? I know you're worried about their size down low, but you got to like an Isaiah Joe. I did that just to rhyme.
Yeah, I love Isaiah Joe. And then I love that Jones can step up when he gets double teamed. But and Chaney looks bigger, he looks stronger, he looks more confident. The team really looks good. There's a lot of talent out there. And this Sella, it's the first time I've gotten to see him play. He is a hustler.
Yeah, he is. He's on the court more than he's standing up, it seems like.
Absolutely. I know one of the things he said earlier about them being undersized. As a fan, is that something that worries you that, you hear Coach Musselman saying one of the things that they need to improve on is rebounding, but then you look at their roster, Vanover is the biggest guy on the team, but he hasn't got his waiver. So maybe Reggie Chaney at 6'8", 6'9", maybe give him an inch on that. He might be 6'7.5", 6'8". But is it alarming, or are you concerned that they might have a problem rebounding inside?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to have rebounds on both ends of the court, and I'm a little concerned about it. I mean, it puts a lot on Chaney, that's for sure. And who would be the other 6'8"?
Well,
Adriel
Bailey,
He's
yeah.
like 6'5".
they're fibbing a little bit, but he's going to have to be 6'8", isn't he?
Yeah. Well, the thing that I watching them play and hearing Coach Musselman in his press conferences and in practice is he's preaching that you have to gain rebound, that your point guard, your shooting guard, your small forwards got to go in there and pinch, double team the bigs, and take some of the pressure off the power forward and the centers of getting all the rebounds. So you need your guards to rebound, average 5 or 6 rebounds, so it can even it out and allow your post players and your power forward not as much stress and not as much load to have to get every rebound for you to have success.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely playing small ball this year, and I'm sure they're working on that and blocking out. I've watched Sills.
Desi Sills, yeah.
He gets his share of rebounds, and they're always blocking out. And so I'm optimistic, really am.
It's a bunch of hustlers, you know what I mean? And I think they can piece it together in terms of being undersized down low, but I worry about what happens when they get into foul trouble. Because you can piece it together with everybody, to start the game. But what happens when they get into a little bit of foul trouble?
I'm excited to see. I think fans are going to notice the tempo of the game. It's going to be similar to what they're accustomed to. Mike Anderson, Nolan Richardson, Stan Heath, Pelfrey, playing up and down, playing up tempo. The difference between all those coaches and playing a fast up style tempo style of game is whenever you don't have a layup or a wide open three, the breakdown and the execution of the offense, running a drag set, a stagger set, a secondary break, and getting into different sets and getting your best players in their best spot to score. And I think watching their practice and watching some of their exhibition games, that's one of the things that you see. The first game, Isaiah Joe shot 17 threes, but they were all out of the offense, in rhythm, and they were all good shots. Unfortunately, the second game he didn't make a lot of shots, but Mason Jones was
made 0 shots.
Yeah, Mason Jones was that guy who was in that same role where they were calling plays and he was getting shots in the best position. And I think that's what Musselman is going to bring out of his players is getting the best shot for his best players in the best position every possession.
Special in-studio guest, as this show is brought to you by Cameron Smith and Associates. Cameron Smith in studio. So we went to the Nolan Day, right? We all went to the Nolan Day. There was the VIP ceremony before in the practice facility. Then you go over to the court, Nolan Richardson Court. Cameron, for someone that's been supporting this program for so long, courtside seats, the whole thing, how was it, how it wasn't, I want to ask you if it was overdue to name the court after Nolan, but let's just focus on how special that day was. And, do you have access to that day and what it means to an average fan and to the program to now be playing on Nolan Richardson Court?
Oh, well, whether it's overdue or not, I can't speak to that, but it's certainly well-deserved, and I was happy to see it.
What was that like to see? You were sitting right there. So when they peeled that back, did it kind of give you the Razorback fan chills?
Well, I had to look over your shoulder because you were standing in my way.
I had to get some video of it, you know?
But yeah, it was special. It really was. It was great to see all the former players come out, and I was really touched when I heard the applause from Mike Anderson when he walked out. He probably got the loudest applause besides Nolan.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was cool. Anderson came back for that, didn't have to. In fact, at first wasn't going to. He recorded that video.
One of the classiest things I've ever seen. And they didn't even know he was coming. He told no one. He just walked in.
Really?
I think that makes, I think it made the event even bigger. It was already a big event with Nolan being there and his former players being there and supporting. But it was an even bigger deal that Mike Anderson flew from New York unannounced to show his support and his loyalty to Nolan. And it was a great moment for the fans to show their loyalty to Mike Anderson. Granted, they love Musselman. We're still going to support Musselman, but we still love Mike Anderson and everything that he meant for the state of Arkansas and to the university. Yeah,
and coming back so early, getting that out of the way, he's going to be welcomed back with open arms from this day forward.
Absolutely.
Kind of get that awkwardness out of the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so this is going to wrap up another episode of the Power Hour Show brought to you by Cameron Smith and Associates. Check them out online for more about what they do. Your website is
CSArecruiters.com.
CSArecruiters.com. We'll be back next week. Wallace Spearman will be back. He was up at the Olympic Training Facility for this show, but we'll be back in full force next Wednesday, 2 o'clock. This has been the Power Hour Show. Thanks for listening.